Now that we have our workspace set up, we're going to create the virtual cameras for our intro cutscene. Now, anytime you are animating a cutscene, I recommend that you plan it out before you start. And for demonstration purposes for me, I already have an idea of what I want, but for you, I would even recommend storyboarding, figuring out what your camera shots are going to look like, what you need inside of your shot. So what I want to do in mine is I want to start on a totally different camera, and I want to show a different part of the level. And my level's not filled out, and that's fine for demonstration. I want to start out over here when the level starts, and I want to maybe pan the camera a little bit, maybe show this enemy. Maybe we'll do things like spaceships flying by or something. And then after that, I want to return to the player camera. So I want to give them a little sneak peek of what the level is going to look like, and then I'm going to return to the player camera, and then they can play. Now, the way this works, because we're using Cinemachine, we have something, we're going to be using virtual cameras and something called a Cinemachine brain. And you can see which object in your level is the Cinemachine brain because of this little puzzle looking icon right here. But typically this will be attached to the main camera. And I believe the 2DGameKit is already set up this way. So that'll work perfect. Now the brain is controlling where the camera needs to be at any point in time. Now, the old way of doing it is to create multiple different cameras and to place these cameras around the scene and turn them on and off, or move the camera to different points. We're not really going to do that. We're only going to have one camera, and our virtual cameras are going to hold the potential position and animation information so that the brain can send this one camera to where it needs to go. So our virtual cameras are going to be like potential cameras, and we'll place them where we want, and then the brain will take care of actually moving the camera. Now, that's the concept behind it. What we really want to do, though, is we're just creating virtual cameras. And you can see that there's already a virtual camera here. Don't mess with this because this is tied to the player. So if I hit play, this is basically the player's camera, and you can see it has smoothing and things here. We're going to make other cameras and then return to this other camera. So just remember that that's the player cam. Okay, cameras. Now, I'm actually not going to put my cameras under here. I'm going to put them under the cutscene so that I can keep track of them. So that my cutscene object over here, I'm going to right-click. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new virtual camera up at the top, so Cinemachine. And you'll see that there's various different kinds of virtual cameras you can make. They do various things. Some of them can get pretty complicated. For now, I just want a simple virtual camera. So Cinemachine, create virtual camera. And I want to take this new camera that got created, and I'm going to drag this underneath the intro. So now I'm going to give this some sort of name. I'm going to call this shot 1. Or you could say intro shot 1. Maybe cam shot 1. Yeah, that'd be good. Just give it some sort of name. All right, and I'm going to position this where I want it. And you can see the preview over here. So maybe it's something like this. And also, I think I want to move this back in my Z dimension right here. That's zooming in or zooming out. And I'm going to place this and frame this how I want. I think maybe kind of maybe a shot like that, and then we'll move it over to the side like that just to get a little bit of the level. Okay, but this is where I want my starting point to be, so we're good there. Let me see. We have our virtual camera placed. You know, if you had multiple shots, you could actually place all of your cameras and make sure that you keep all of these objects because they're related to this cutscene right here. You could create multiple cameras and switch between the shots or whatever. If you had multiples, that's fine. For now, I want this one right here. And now that we have this set up, next we're going to actually animate the shot transition. So we will do that next.